Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am back with a Christmas card using the present time from my favorite things, which is a new stamp set from their current September release. So for this card I am starting with my background and therefore I took some distress inks, the Dusty Concord, Seedless Preserves, Wild Honey, and I will also be adding some mustard seed. And I'm just ink blending and trying to create a really warm but also a bit dramatic background for this Christmas card. So with my background finished, I am taking the classic snow globe from my favorite things, and I also have a shaker pouch of it, and I'm going to die cut this out of my background. So I'm using my T-square ruler to get it in place, and I'm also adhering it with some purple tape to keep it in place while I am going to run it through my die cutting machine. So really important after this was to preserve this piece that I have die cut, because I'm going to inlay it later onto my card base to have everything transition smoothly. I stamped out my images onto Neenah using Gina K Design Amalgam ink, and now I am going to color them in using my Copic markers. The colors that I chose were related to the colors that I chose for the background, because I wanted to let everything sort of match with each other. Didn't want to use a lot of different colors, also because the background is already really dramatic and bright. I didn't want any distraction from the snowman as well. So I'm putting the caps on the side so that you can see which color combinations I am using. For the accessories, I am mostly using the same combinations. And what I'm doing is actually I just add the darkest color and then I go towards the lighter colors in the gradient, and if necessary I do a tip-to-tip method to get the blending going. So for the rest of the coloring I'm going to put some music on and I will be back afterwards. I'm taking the matching dies to cut all of the images out, and then I'm taking my white jelly roll pen to add some details to the packages as well as to that sock, and then I can continue with the rest of the card. So next up, I'm going to cut out the other parts of my snow globe, which is the stand as well as a snowy hill. And I'm doing this out of Neenah as well. For the stand, I am using exactly the same purple as in my sky, just to match it all. And then I can add my sentiment. So for the sentiment, I am going to do some heat embossing. Therefore, I'm using my Versamark clear embossing ink, and the embossing powder that I'm using is from Nuvo, is the Glacier white embossing powder. I have taken a card base and now I'm putting some purple tape inside of it to keep it closed. And now I am keeping my panel where it belongs, and now I'm going to inlay that other piece that I have die cut earlier. I'm going to add my snowy hill, and then I can start assembling everything on top of this card. So first of all, I'm going to add that shaker pouch, and therefore I'm using some liquid glue and I'm going to add it to the back of my panel. And as you can see, this fits perfectly around the die cut piece and inside that die cut hole, of course. Having done that, I'm going to add my images, and I'm first starting with the images that are going to be on the front panel, and then afterwards I can see where the images inside of that globe can fit. So I'm adding everything using a combination of some foam squares, some liquid glue, and this shaker pouch is quite dimensional. So I have like some foam squares that have 3 heights, and for this one I really needed to use the thickest foam squares I had to get those images at the same height as the shaker pouch. So I'm adding some foam squares, and then I am also adding some liquid glue there where the image is overlapping with the snow globe. Doing exactly the same for the other image, and then the images that will go inside of the snow globe will of course be added with some liquid glue to be flat. Okay, so now onto the hardest part of this card, and if you have any suggestions on how this can be more easy, then please leave it down below. I have this circular shaker bits, and because I inlaid that panel, I really had some trouble with those shaker parts. Yeah, they roll over my card, and I just cut it out. This was just too painful to watch. But this took me the longest time to get those circular shaker bits inside of my globe. And here I realized that I could also just throw some more inside of it, which I did, of course. And then everything was assembled. But I must admit, I don't want to use these shaker bits until I have found, or just because of you, found some way to make it easier on myself to get those inside of the shaker part. But yeah, having said that, I also added some of the adhesive pearl stones next to my sentiment, but I lost the footage of that. And here I am just adding some glossy accents to finish off this card. So this is my Shaker Christmas card with the present time from my favorite things. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you like the end result, of course. If you have any questions, you can always leave them down below. I will answer them as quick as possible. And for the rest, I hope that you have a wonderful day, and hopefully I will see you next time again. Bye!